Hey y'all, I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting for my son to renew his license or get a copy. And as promised, I wanted to put out a video speaking about the circumstances of outmigration. And it's a tale of two families. Uh, Both are young families with three children, so families of five people. And the first family was sent to Iowa City, Iowa, and were put in a hotel and stayed in a hotel for 30 days before they made up their mind to leave. And by that time, they had gotten little help from the agency, International Rescue Committee, and the International Rescue Committee had spent $3,000 of their resettlement money on the hotel and could not find them a house. And it was, I'm sure it was not fun being at the hotel. I don't even think it was an extended stay hotel. And eventually, this family did outmigrate to Texas and are doing well, as far as I know. I'm not trying to make a kind of an example out of them, but the comparison I think is good to make. Um, the second family I had been speaking to for a long time when they were still in South Africa. I was speaking to the father, and he was aware of the pitfalls of refugee resettlement, the problems that might happen. And this was a family that had never lived in the city. They were country people, a beautiful family. Both of them are beautiful families. Now, when they arrived in Newark, New Jersey, and were picked up by the agency and taken to a city right next to Hoboken, right across from New York City, not a very nice area, a very expensive area, in spite of being not very nice and very populated right there. Uh, they immediately told their caseworker that they would be out migrating. And they were people from the country. They'd never lived in the city, and this was inappropriate for them. Uh, and this was CWS, this was not IRC. And in fact, the caseworker, I spoke to him, and he was a very pleasant man and went along and cooperated to try to do what the family wanted to do. And I did end up picking up this family from New Jersey and bringing them up to Connecticut until we could make plans for them to fly to Texas. And they did not spend any, hardly at all, of their resettlement funds. And since they're a family of five, they get at least $10,000 for resettlement for the 3 months. So they stayed up here in Connecticut at an extended stay hotel, and I spent some time with them. And they're very wonderful people. And then I drove them back to the Newark airport, and they're in Texas. They did get their check, I think, in about 10 days from the agency. So they were CWS was very helpful, and they gave them their resettlement funds. But in the meantime, when they first arrived, they put them in a very inappropriate guest house that had no heat and other things which made it inappropriate. But the family in Iowa, they could have been in Texas a lot sooner to start their lives if they had just, you know, made up their mind to go ahead with it. And I'm really, like, pleased and honored when people uh, are believing what I'm telling them of the law and process and the money and how it goes and what you're supposed to get upon resettlement. And I thank you for taking my advice. But I also want to make a point that we don't want unhappy cases. We don't want people struggling or sitting in hotels for weeks on end and told things that are not true by the caseworkers. We don't want that. We want proper resettlement where you are given the bare necessities and put in a nice place where you would consider staying for a year. This is not about emergency housing. This is about resettlement. Now, maybe after that year, you'll want to move on to a different area. You have other friends that have come over with the resettlement, with the refugee program. But this is the tale of two families. They are similar. And I feel that when you're prepared with information ahead of time, it really helps. And the more refugees that are over here, the more you can help each other out. And that is very good, of course. So to be having your information ahead of time and just be prepared for what happens is a very good thing. Thankfully, most people are not languishing in hotels and not being helped. This is not the case for most people. Uh, and I think that things might be changing with the resettlement uh, over here in the US, but we'll keep an eye on that, how that change might be occurring and what it means. All right. Have a good day.